Good morning, YouTube. It's been a couple weeks, and I'm out in the big garden this morning and just checking over things. Getting kind of late in the season. Been doing a lot of harvesting and taking care of the giant pumpkins. One of them stalled on me. It happens. But I've got others on the vine that are still growing, and I thought I'd bring you around. Here in Wisconsin, especially along the lakeshore of Manitowoc, it's real tough with the weather to grow certain vegetables, especially if you've never grown them and you don't know anything about them. Do your research before you attempt it. It's kind of heart-wrenching when it fails and you put everything into it. But anyway, I decided this year, since I never hear of anybody growing watermelons in their garden, you know, especially in an area like this, heavy clay, it's not real good soil. You've seen it in my past videos. It's rough. But what I did was when I planted these, I went out to the county compost site where everybody brings their yard waste, trees, limbs, grass, everything like that. And I picked up a bunch of what they call unsifted, unfiltered compost soil. It's nice and black. It's organic. It's still got a lot of twigs and branches and, you know, miscellaneous stuff in it, but it's proven to be good soil for me in the past for amending, such as that. But the one I wanted to show you today was I've got a crimson red watermelon, and I've got a Jubilee watermelon plant. And for never growing them before and using that soil, I did use some of the plant and soil booster from Ron Wallace when I planted these. I did not use the inoculant. For the most part, it was a side dressing of heavy nitrogen due to the research I found. They are a nitrogen loving plant when they start vining, and once you start getting runners, a lot of people tell me, and what I've read and whatnot, have said that they are just heavy nitrogen eaters. So I took it with, you know, I kind of take it with a grain of salt, and, you know, especially everything you read on the internet. But and I kind of experimented a little bit. Started out light and just kind of increased from there. Found what, you know, where my cap is as far as nitrogen and such goes. But they turned out to be pretty decent. Late due to the weather. Go 2 weeks without rain, you gotta hand water them like crazy to keep them going. Then all of a sudden you get dumped with 3 inches of rain in a day and a half, and you're going, Jesus, everything's underwater now, and now you can't get in the garden for 4 days. So, but overall, I'm pretty impressed. They are a vigorous growing, out of control. Yeah. If you don't have room for these plants, I don't suggest trying to plant them. You know, if you don't have the room, you can make the room, but yeah, the vining got away from me, but it's all right. So the one I'm standing by now is my crimson red. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 fruit on the vine that are growing. So I'll show you that, and then I'll run over to the Jubilees. Here's kind of an overshot. It's probably 12 feet by 12 feet easily, and still going. I hand pollinated a lot of these, but here's a little guy. He's probably, oh, I don't know. I got big hands, so he's probably a softball size. I found one the other day, excuse me, and I didn't even know it was there. And it must have been a real early pollination. This one's almost the size of a volleyball, and it's looking really nice. Didn't even, like I said, walking around the patch doing this and that, and been overlooking it the whole time. Really nice looking watermelon. And here's another little guy here. As you can see, a lot of flowers. Here's a little one over here, kind of a late set. Not as hard as I'd like them to be. Might not make it. Got another oddball looking one over on this side, hiding here. This one's pretty firm. But all in all, they've been a real healthy plant. I only sprayed pesticide and fungicide once when the vines were about 4 feet long, and I haven't had a problem all summer. So those are my Crimson Reds. Over here I've got my big Jubilees. Now this is probably 20 feet by 20 foot plus. I've actually trimmed back a lot of the vines on this plant, and I've got watermelons on the vine everywhere. This is actually 2 plants, and as you can tell, these guys are doing great. Like I said, I got big hands, so that one's probably 2 foot easily. Probably total inches right around 78 inches. Probably about 15 pounds, 16 pounds. This little guy here, you know, he's probably 10 inches. Nice. And here's another one. There's another one hiding in there. Here's another one. Now, I don't know how many watermelons you're supposed to get on per plant, but like I said, I've never done this before, so I thought, you know what, get as many as you can, and what makes it makes it. Whatever don't. If I wasn't even expecting much. This is my first one that I pollinated. This one's probably pushing 25. You know, this one was almost 88 inches the other day total. Real nice. I don't know if you can hear that. You getting there? I was watching the tendrils on there. Hasn't started browning much yet at all. Oh, there he is, right there. He's getting closer. Kind of getting yellowish. This little guy here, nice. Hear that? It sounds like a piece of wood. Just solid. You can tell that's nowhere near, obviously. But then we got this little guy here. He's probably 18 inches long. Kind of sounds like a hollow door when you knock on them. And last but not least, oh no, wait, we got this little oddball here hiding by the thistle. I gotta pull him out. Then last but not least, we got this nice one. Now they say also, I've been doing a lot of research, if you see a lot of scarring on the skins on the outside, they say that's a sure sign that they're getting sweet, because the bugs are chewing at the rind and whatnot. My big one over there, that one's got some scarring. I don't know if it's from stretching or bugs, but and they also say that they're supposed to kind of starve them for water the last couple of weeks to, it aids in sweetening them up. But I haven't watered these guys in probably a week and a half, and only because last Thursday we got almost 3 inches of rain again, and I thought it almost killed this plant because I had a vine that's running over there. Just the leaves were literally just laying on the ground. They looked like they were just mush, and now it's perked back up since the water's soaked in, and the plant's probably used the majority of it. So I'm gonna take you over to one of my pumpkins I've been growing. Kind of impressed with this one, so I'm gonna pause this and I'll be back. Okay, now this is from one of my plants, or yeah, my plant last year, which, if you remember, was a store-bought giant dill Atlantic. At the beginning of the season, this poor thing looked like it wasn't even gonna make it at all. It was rough. The leaf stems were wilting over, the leaves themselves were wilting over. I just couldn't get enough water in this poor thing. I mean, and Ron Wallace recommended I give it a Epsom salt treatment, and I did that. That perked it up a lot. Really helped green up the foliage. They look beautiful now. Lot of leaf, but the only pumpkin that I even found for a blossom to pollinate was back on the 22nd of last month, and I'm not sure how long it takes, you know, if there's like a gestation period or whatever, you know, 5 days, 7 days, whatever, 24 hours from the day you hand pollinate till fruit set. You know, if you calculate that from the time of pollination to a successful fruit set, this pumpkin could have been averaging anywhere from 9 to 20 pounds a day. It just depends on when it was considered a successful fruit set. But this one I am really extremely impressed with. It really took after the genetics of the big orange, almost like perfectly round one that I had in the front yard last year, and I thought I'd share this with you. This one is 189 inches total today, and is just beautiful. And it's already beaten last year's, the one in the front yard. So you know what? I'm happy. It beat it. It's bigger. And it's, yeah. I mean, I never seen a blossom stem like that before that just keeps hanging in there, but just gorgeous color. It's really super soft. I really got it. I mean, it's almost like a cheese tack cloth. It's just real soft, pliable. I'm not going to leave it out in the sun and bake too long. But I thought I'd share this with you because I love this. This pumpkin is just beautiful. I love it. I got one scarring where I had to cut a leaf stem out of there. It didn't harm it much. It healed up nice. So other than that, she's doing great. I wish I would have got the pallet under it a little better. That's kind of making me nervous, but it's a little late now. I sure as heck ain't gonna lift it the way it is. I'm pushing probably 200 pounds now, but yeah. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot to share. Hope you enjoy the video, and remember, give Ron Wallace a call at Wallace Organic Wonder. He great guy, great product. Any questions you may have of any of his products, how to tend with growing pumpkins or vegetables, very knowledgeable about just about anything to do in the garden. So until next time, everyone, hopefully this This one here will take up the entire pallet before it's all done and said. I'm looking forward to it. Have a good week. Be safe. Todd Bittner saying, have a good afternoon.